For this week's Friday Extra on the Banner podcast, we return to the chair of the board, Reverend Jeff Kingswood, for his recommendation of perhaps one of our more obscure biographies.
I love the Banner biographies, and of course everyone, when they think of Banner biographies, thinks of Ian Murray, and unparalleled, of course. But Faith Cook has given us a number of biographies, one on Selina, Countess of Huntingdon, which is a very interesting read, this patron of circuit riders and revival preachers. But another book that she's written is this book, William Grimshaw of Howarth, and it pictures for us a pastor of this remote village, mid-1740s to the mid-1760s. He was there about 20 years, just over, I think. And he was a friend of the Wesleys and of Whitefield. They all knew him, they spoke highly of him, and they frequented his parish. He is interesting because he's such a character. There's a lot of apocryphal stories circulated about Grimshaw. One that he would go to the pub and on Sunday mornings and drive the patrons out with a whip and chase them to church, and that has been widely circulated but pretty much debunked. Nevertheless, it wouldn't be something that you would put past him. He's a man's man. He was bold, not overawed by anyone. He was not afraid of controversy if the controversy was thrust upon him. He was not one to go seeking controversies, which I think is a very important point to note in our day and age. The internet makes controversy far too easy. In Howarth's day, you had to look it in the face. He was apparently a wonderful, hospitable man, not married, but he, if you visited him, you would find your boots cleaned and polished by morning. He would do that while you slept. He would prepare meals for you, had a housekeeper, but he would provide great hospitality to his guests and was very attentive to the needs of those who visited him and to his parish. What is pictured here is a man who was a faithful parish minister and whose ministry was tremendously blessed. The congregation grew and grew under his preaching. They had to build and build again, and the bishop in the area was no friend of evangelicalism, refused to give any further funds, and so they had to look far and wide to pay for the expansion of the church to accommodate those who came to hear Grimshaw preach, and many from other parishes, which caused no inconsiderable amount of jealousy from others in the region. Also blessed because the aforementioned Wesleys and Whitefield would often come and preach at Haworth, and he was accused of being a Methodist, and though he was a minister of the Church of England. And although he denied being a Methodist, he penned a very vigorous defense of Methodism, and again didn't bring him any friends in the established church. But he pointed out that many of the accusations, many of the caricatures of Methodism were just that, and that they weren't reasoned positions. And so he defended his friends in that movement. It's just a wonderful glimpse into a man who in many ways was bold, brash, a real character, and reminds us that ministers aren't all cut from the same cloth, and that there's room for some eccentricity, as long as that eccentricity does not detract from the gospel. And in fact, the eccentricity of Haworth was this boldness that almost caused you at first probably to dismiss him as too eccentric, but then that boldness in preaching and in pastoring his flock won him the souls and the hearts of the people of Haworth. So it's just a delightful read, encouraging, amusing, and heartwarming.
Our thanks to the Reverend Jeff Kingswood for his recommendation of Faith Cook's William Grimshaw of Howarth. More details on that title can be found in the description.